I want to spend a few minutes and talk about Sketch Mode of Kumu, which is a part of the new user interface that was just recently announced. And when it first came out, my first reaction was, why'd you call it Sketch Mode? Because I didn't quite understand what it enabled one to do, though as I've used it, I find it provides a very fluid environment for developing relationship diagrams. So when you create a new project in Kumu or create a new map, it asks you to pick a template for the type of map that you're going to create. And it does some things in the background so that to define some things so you don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to tell it I want to create a system map and I want to do causal loop diagrams. And I'm going to call this sketch mode, the name of the map itself. And then I'm going to tell it to go ahead and create the new map. So I now end up with a map called sketch mode, and that's why it says sketch mode here. And it's currently on, I want it on the default view, which is sketch mode. And so to go ahead, now that I've created this new map, I come down here and I tell it that I want to go into sketch mode, and it says down here that I'm in sketch mode, and I can do I can click exit here, I can go back here and exit, or I can just hit the escape key. I am going to draw a shifting the burden diagram, which starts with a symptom, and just hit enter. And then go ahead and say, all right, the symptom leads to a SYMP symptomatic solution, and the relationship here is positive, which is adds to or same direction, that you can select plus or minus, and that the legend is down here is placed there because of the template that was used when I said I wanted to do causal loop diagrams. And then the other part of this is to come back and influence the symptom, and this influence is negative. This also then influences the fundamental solution, and that influence is positive. The other half of it is negative. And then there's a side effect. Hit enter. This is a positive relationship. And then down here, this is a negative relationship. So now that I've done that, I can exit here or go back here and say exit, or just hit the escape key. And once I do that, I'm out of the sketch mode. I can come back here and I can move these things around and clean this up quite readily just by moving them like this. And you know, when I do causal loop diagrams, they sort of evolve over time, and in this environment, it's very easy to go ahead and select connectors and move them to other places. It's also very easy to go back into sketch mode and add additional things to it. If I wanted to go ahead and go back into sketch mode and say I want to add this, and just call it something, hit enter, and then connect that to here. And to move those connections around is very easy. And to get rid of things, you just select them and hit the delete key, and they'll go away. So it makes it very easy to lay out the causal loop diagram and to evolve it over time. Now, you also typically want to define the loops themselves, so you come down here and you say add loop, and it says pick the pieces. Well, I want this and this to be symptom solution, and I'll call it B1. And then I want to define another loop. Oh, sorry. I want to define another loop, add a loop, so that I want this, and I'll call this fundamental solution B2. Now notice I put 2 spaces in here. Anytime you create a label in Kumu and put 2 spaces in it, it automatically does a line break at that point for you. And this, I'll define one more and simply call it add loop. No, sorry. Add loop. And I'll call it this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece, and I'll call this side effect B3. But this is not actually a balancing loop, is it? It's actually a reinforcing loop. So let me come up here and change this and call it R3. All right. So I mean, it's very easy to edit things in the environment, and when you create a map has a profile page, so you can write a description here about this map. But every element on this map, let me get out of sketch mode, every element on this map also has a profile page so that you can write a description of any or all of the elements that you want. You can write descriptions of the loops. You can even put descriptions on the connections if it's appropriate to describe the model that you're developing. So that's pretty much the sketch mode. I find it extremely fluid in terms of allowing me to develop a diagram and evolve it. And as I said, if you can cause the line breaks here manually by simply adding 2 spaces, but it would automatically wrap in this space if it was much longer than what I initially typed it here, which is part of the function of the template that's defined for it. So hope you found this useful. Kumu is free for use for creating public projects. Just go to kumu.io and sign up and have at it. Take care. Bye.